It's okay, let's start. Today, inshallah, we'll be talking about the poetry. We will study the poetry today. So open your booklet, please, on page 77. Our poem this term, inshallah, will be Blow, Blow. And this poem was written by William Shakespeare, and it's a song that is taken from the play As You Like It. We'll start by reading the whole poem before we start. Blow, blow, thou winter wind, thou art not so unkind as man's ingratitude. Thy tooth is not so keen, because thou art not seen. Although thy breath be rude, hey ho, sing hey ho, unto the green holly. Most friendship is feigning, most loving mere folly. Then hey ho, the holly, this life is most jolly. This is the first stanza. And the second stanza, freeze, freeze, thou bitter sky, that dost not bite so nigh, as benefits forgot, though thou the waters warp, thy sting is not so sharp, as friendship remembered not. Hey ho, sing hey ho, unto the green holly, most friendship is feigning, most loving mere folly. Then hey ho, the holly, this life is most jolly. As you see, this poem is uh, or consists of two stanzas only, and we'll start now after reading the whole poem by giving you the meaning of the most important vocabulary. The first one is thou. As you see here, you'll find that the first word thou, and by the way, it's written in Old English because thou, this is Old English, and it means now in our modern English, it means you. Ingratitude, this word means when someone is not grateful, when someone is not thankful. This is called ingratitude. Thy tooth, it means here your bite is not as sharp as a person who can be seen. Hey ho, hey ho. Hey ho is an expression of joy, expression of happiness. Okay. After that, holly. Holly, it's an evergreen plant used as a sign of joy, as a sign of happiness, and for Christmas decorations. This is called holly. Feigning. The word feigning here, it means deceiving. Okay. Folly. Folly, it means foolishness, something which is foolish. Jolly. Jolly, it means pleasant. Okay. Bitter, it means sharp. It means painful. So nigh. So nigh, it means so close. Yeah, near the bones. So close. Benefits. Benefits, it means good deeds. Good deeds. Warp. The word warp, it means to change from to change the form by turning water here in our poem by turning water into ice or blowing it into waves. Sting, this is the last word, and it means the bite of an insect. Now we will turn to the paraphrase, the explanation of the two stanzas, but before the paraphrase, we should know the background about this poem. Why is this poem written? Okay. Uh, as I told you at the beginning, this poem is a song, and it was in the play As You Like It. And As You Like It is one of Shakespeare's plays. Okay. In this poem, we know that the lawful duke of a part in France was driven out of his dukedom by his brother. And there was a man who was a duke, was the lawful duke, the legal one. okay, in France, and his brother dismissed him out of the dukedom, out of the region. And the banished duke, and this man who was dismissed, and his followers went to live in a place which is called the Forest of Arden, the Forest of Arden in England. Okay, so after the duke, as I told you, was punished, he went with his followers to live in a place which is called the Forest of Arden. And the duke, by the way, is a nobleman of a very high rank, and he was kicked out and forbidden from returning to the dukedom, to the region who ruled, which he ruled. In the same place, there was another man whose name was Orlando. Orlando was another man who was a brave young man, and he was cruelly treated by his brother, the same as the duke, and forced to leave home. So he fled, he escaped, he ran away with his servant Adam to the same forest and met the duke there. We have two persons who had the same condition. The first one was the duke, and the second one was Orlando. And during a meal together, because they met each other, they lived with each other there in this place, which was the Forest of Arden. And during the meal together, Amiens, Amiens, this man was the Duke's attendant, the Duke's servant, sang this song, sang our poem today. Okay? And he said in the first poem, in the first stanza, blow, blow, thou winter wind, thou art not so unkind as man's ingratitude. Thy tooth is not so keen, although thy breath be rude. Let's see the paraphrase of this part. We'll find here that the poet wanted to tell us that he wanted to ask the wind to blow hard. The poet here is asking the wind to blow hard. And by the way, this place, the Forest of Arden, is a very rough place. Okay, you can find the rough wind in it. So the wind, he asks the wind to blow hard. He says that the cold and strong wind is much kinder than ungrateful friends. He added sorrowfully, in a very sad way, that a very rough wind could not hurt as much as the rudeness of mankind, of men, of people. Okay? So in the first stanza, the poet wanted to tell us that the rough wind, the rough winter, is much kinder than the men, the people. Why? Because maybe the people cause pain for others. Okay? And the second, and this pain may be psychological pain, and it will be harder than, more difficult than the material one. In the second stanza, this is the second stanza, which is freeze, freeze, thou bitter sky, that dust here, by the way, it means does, because this is Old English, as I told you, that dust not bite so nigh, as benefits forgot, though thou the waters warp, thy sting is not so sharp, as friend remembered not. So in the second stanza, the poet here assured, confirmed on the same idea. He asks the winter cold to freeze, or the cold winter to freeze the water. But although very cold water is shocking, something very hard for people, especially in winter, it's less painful than a friend who forgets friendship. The behavior of a false friend, of a deceiving friend, could have a greater effect on man's spirit than the cold weather that could change water into ice. Right. We will talk now about the last part, which is hey ho sing, because you'll see here that this part at the end of each stanza is repeated here. Hey ho sing, hey ho, from this line until the end. You'll find that the same part here is repeated in the first stanza and in the second one. So we will read the paraphrase of this part directly, but before it, we will read this part in the poem itself. Hey ho. And as I told you that hey ho, you can use it when you want to express joy by saying hey ho, sing hey ho, unto the green holly. Holly is an evergreen plant, as I told you. Most friendship is feigning, most loving mere folly. Feigning here it means deceiving, and folly it means foolish. Then hey ho, the holly, this life is most jolly. So in this part, the poet, after he told us, after he had told us about the wind in the first stanza and the winter in the second stanza, and both of them, he considered them that they are made much uh, kinder than the ungrateful friends, ungrateful people in general. In this part, the same part in each stanza, hey ho, you'll find here that he is giving us hope. Yes, by saying regarding what the banished duke, as I told you, the banished is someone who was kicked out and forbidden from returning to his place again. So the banished duke as well as Orlando, because Orlando, يعني, the same thing happened to him because his brother forced him to leave home. So both of them, the banished duke and Orlando, had suffered from their brothers. So the poet declares, the poet here makes something clear, explains at the end of each stanza that most friendship is feigning. Feigning here it means false, deceiving, untrue. And most love is foolish. If you love someone all the time for him, I mean here for the poet, it's okay? It's foolish for him. People only pretend, people only claim, allege, feign to love each other, but they are unfaithful. Unfaithful, they are not loyal at all. They are dishonest, not faithful, and untrue. As nature, because he is talking all the time about nature. In the first stanza about the wind, and in the second stanza about the winter. As nature is much kinder than man, he encourages man to keep away from a lot of his fellow men, from his friends. Okay, keep away from them, avoid them, and to enjoy the happy life in the forest. You can go to to the forest and enjoy the happy life there without hatred. Okay, hatred it's the opposite of love. Without hatred or dishonesty. Dishonesty it means the condition of being dishonest. Okay, disloyal, not loyal at all. So the poet here is giving us a hint, yeah, not to be sad because someone or a friend we discover after that that he was a very dishonest man. It's okay. No, no, no. You can avoid him. You can keep away from him at all, and you can enjoy your happy life without hatred, without dishonest, without unfaithfulness, and so on. It's okay. So you'll find here that the paraphrase is so easy. So the first part for the first part of the first stanza and the second stanza here. And by the way, this is the last part. You'll find that this is a paraphrase for the same part at the end of each stanza. Hey ho, hey ho. They are the same here. Now let's turn to the figures of speech. The figures of speech will start with the first one, which is the personification. We have here personification, and I'd like to remind you of the meaning of personification. Personification, as you know, it means that you give a thing uh, the characteristics of a man, like the poet here, blow, blow, thou winter wind. Okay, the poet here speaks to the wind, asking it to blow and then to freeze after that. So he is talking to the wind, or even the winter, like a man. This is the first one. The second one is a comparison here. Comparison is like a simile, yani, especially when in the third line, as man's ingratitude. As man's ingratitude. Here, this is a simile because we have as. So there is a comparison between the wind and the man. Here, the poet Shakespeare is comparing between the wind and the man. Man's ingratitude and unfaithfulness are more bitter, okay, and more cruel and more painful than the wind, because the wind is much kinder than the man. This is the second one. The third one after that, the last four lines, you'll find that the last four lines of each stanza, from hey ho, here, hey ho, these are the last four lines in each stanza, stanza one and stanza two. You'll find that they are the same. And this is called in English, as you know, repetition. Yes, this is called repetition, and it's a figure of speech. And the rhyme and the repetition of lines give music to the poem because the poem is a song. So this is called repetition. And here in this stanza, we have here blow, blow. Blow, blow is a repetition. And by the way, another repetition, it's a freeze, freeze. Freeze, freeze is a repetition. Okay, because the repetition may be in a phrase, maybe in words, and of course the repetition has its own function, which is, you can say, it is used for emphasis, to confirm an idea, and it gives internal music inside the lines. And we have another one, which is alliteration. Alliteration, and as you know that alliteration is the repetition of, at the beginning of the words, okay, of the consonant sound on the same line, like blow, blow. The first letter here is B and B. Winter, wind, W, W. Breathe, B, it's okay. Or breath, B. Sorry, it's a breath, it's okay. Breath and B. Friendship and feigning. All these words, you can find them, they start with the same consonant sound, and they are on the same line, as I told you. It's okay. They are on the same line. And the function of the alliteration, you can say it gives the music to appeal our sense of hearing. You have to write it. It gives the music to appeal our sense of hearing. Now, before we finish the figures of speech, the last point, which is the rhyme scheme. The rhyme scheme. Who can give me the rhyme scheme? Who can Yes, Arwa, can you give me the rhyme scheme? Huh? If you remember the rhyme scheme يا جماعة, it's the last sound in each line. Like blow, blow, thou, winter, wind, wind. And thou art not so unkind, kind. So wind and unkind. Huh? At the end of each line, you can find the same sound. And we arrange the rhyme scheme according to the alphabetical order. So we'll start with A. So because the first line and the second line, they are the same, so it will be A. As man's ingratitude. So gratitude is different from the first sound, so it will be B, and so on. It's okay? Huh? So the rhyme scheme here of the whole poem will be A, B, C, B, and the last four lines will be D. The second stanza will be E, F, G, F, and because the last part in stanza 2, the second stanza, is the same. It's okay, so it will be D. Yes, Rana? You're raising your hand. You have only 10
مستر
minutes.
هو
Yes.
احنا عندنا البوكلت عندنا البوكلت بتنتهي عند صفحة 81.
تمام. It's okay, مفيش مشكلة. You can write. يعني المحاضرة دي المفروض ان هي مسجلة، ما تقلقيش. It's recorded. فإن شاء الله البارت الأخير ده مفيش مشكلة إن أنت إيه بتزوديه عندك. مفيش مشكلة. It's okay. It's okay, Rana. Oh, this is a poem from the beginning. هذه البوتري البوم اهي. Blow. This is a poem. And the vocabulary. And the paraphrase. And the figures of speech. هي only one page بس دي اللي أنا مزودها يعني كده، بحيث إن أنا أزود لكم بيها figures of speech شوية. It's okay. Okay. Any question يا جماعة؟ Any question? Yes, Shihab. Shab Tariq, you are raising your hand. Shihab Tariq.
يا مستر، وانا عن سؤال
Yes, Shihab. Yes, Shihab, your question.
مستر، هو الفيجر سبيتش في الامتحان لو قال لك اكتبها لازم اكتبهم كلهم، اللي هي الالتريشن وكل الكلام ده؟
يفضل طبعا. يفضل طبعا.
يعني قال لي كلهم يعني.
طبعا طبعا
آه.
طبعا، لأنه هو سؤال مضمون إن شاء الله في الامتحان. البوتري سؤال مضمون يا جماعة. فطبعا ده ما يفضل طبعا. It's better to write all the figures of speech. It's okay. مريم محمد. Quickly please.
أيوة يا مستر.
Yes.
مستر هو البوتري حفظ يعني علينا هيجي يسألني عليها حفظ؟
لا يا حبيبتي مش حفظ. البوم مش حفظ يا جماعة. كل اللي تحفظوا فيها أهم شيء هو البارافريز، الفيجرز اوف سبيتش، الرايم سكيم طبعا اللي احنا طلعناه مع بعض ده. انا طلعته لكم كتبته لان هو ما كانش مكتوب في البوكلت، فانا كتبته لكم عشان يبقى سهلنا عليكم الامر شويه. اوكي. اوكي محمد حسام you have a question. Yes محمد حسام you are raising your hand. طيب it's okay. علي احمد.
ايوه يا مستر، هو كل حاجة في البوم دي حفظها.
طبعا
تمام.
بارافريز، البارافريز حفظ طبعا، يعني ممكن يجي لك اي ستانزا. فيجرز اوف سبيتش نفس الكلام، الرايم سكيم برضه، فكل ده لازم يتحفظ.
ماشي.
اوكي. any question يا جماعه؟ is it clear؟ any question يا شباب؟ any question؟ Faris, you have a question?
لا
It's okay. It's okay. See you soon next time, inshallah. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
عليكم.